Okay. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Market Call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. Uh, Today being Friday, the 17th of July, 2025. So this morning we are going to be starting quick with the synthetic indices, starting with VIX75 index. So if we look at VIX75 index, we are still very much bullish. And if you try to come to the 4-hour time frame, just the way we did our analysis on Monday, today being the recap. So we are going to be looking at where exactly is the market going to. So we have this set up on Monday for V75, and that is exactly where we are still waiting for price to pull back into. Although we had some particular setup here, if you look at it from 1 hour, which played out last week, just on Monday rather, where we were expecting price to retrace into this particular zone for a buy, and that is exactly what we saw price did. Yes, I think it was this particular level here. Yes, this particular level here was where we were expecting price to trade into, and just to buy, and it did just 1:2 before the reverse. However, where exactly do we see price going to moving forward today? Now, today being 17th, and also expecting to see on weekend basis, the only place we are still waiting for price to take us is just for it to sell all the way to the downside. And for those who are on our community for ATM cash flow, we had an analysis session yesterday where we're looking to short after price took out this particular level yesterday, and when price traded into this shoulder region yesterday. And we are still in the short of the 75 right now. For those who have not joined, you may want to join. And this is just we looking out to see where exactly does price is heading to rather, right? So what we're seeing is price coming to do something of this nature, and we're expecting to get our 1:2 or 1:3 moving forward for today on V75. All right. So that is for V75. A quick one to 75 1S, because those are the two pairs that we slightly have some setup currently. So for 75 1S also, we've been very bullish, and our 4-hour time frame where we are looking to join the buy is currently somewhere below this zone here. For 75 1S, we are looking to see if price is still going to pull back all the way into this zone, so to join the buy of 75 index. And even on Monday, we have a markup on the 1-hour time frame for 75 1S, which price did all the way, and which was somewhere here. We see how that we expect price to trade into this shoulder, right? And that is exactly what gave us this buy all through. So on Monday, the 75 1S also had delivered its own move, right? So all the way to the upside. But right now, what we are expecting to see on the 75 1S is, as price already took out this level, so we are expecting more of a pullback all the way down. And currently, I'm still seeing a buy structure somewhere around this zone, as price is going to come all the way here to take out this low, right? So this is going to be the next buy zone for 75 1S. But my only concern is that this liquidity point has to be taken out before the buy starts. So this is what I'm looking out to see for 75 1S in the course of the weekend, and we continue all the way back up. All right, so that is it for V75 and V75 1S. And quick lastly, if we look at VIX10 right now, what we also had an analysis on Monday for VIX10, where we are expecting price to start buying somewhere around this shoulder point on the daily time frame, but the setup was violated. But right now, let's go to the lower time frame to see what exactly is playing out on V75 So right now, what I'm still seeing is price already broke the structure. Yes, good and fine. However, I'm of the opinion that we should still hold on a bit because price is still going to pull a little bit more back. So if price could pull all the way into this zone, then we are going to long VIX10 1S. So this is it for me for VIX10 1S buy. However, at the same time, we are still seeing a sell setup here. As you can see, this is the shoulder, and since the shoulder has been formed here, so what we are expecting to see is a sell to buy. So we are expecting price to trade all the way into this zone. If price could trade into this zone, then we are looking to short VIX10 1S. All right, so this is it for VIX10 1S. Okay, so we are shorting all the way to this level so that we can buy all the way from this level again for VIX10 1S. So that is that majorly for synthetic indices this morning, and just as a recap for the week, and we'll be moving straight into the analysis of the dollar. Let's quickly move into the analysis of the dollar as we have CJ bringing us into analysis of the precious metal and the yen pairs. All right, make sure you trade cautiously as weekend is a full time again for you to trade synthetic indices because the market is open 247. All right, till we meet again next week Monday, make sure you use your proper risk management strategy and trade cautiously. All right, so let's quickly go into the currency pair this morning to see what is going on in the yen basket and also the precious metal. Thank you very much. Good morning, CJ.
Good morning to you, Leko. Thank you so much for the analysis on synthetic this morning. I will be looking very briefly before we go into currencies, what's happening with the equities market, US 30, US market, NAS 100, right, which is the NASDAQ, and also S&P 500. Of course, tracking top companies in the US. Right? I believe you can see my screen this morning. Okay, on the US 30 market, very much this morning, what do we have on the daily time frame? As you can see, the market is still very much what? In a range, right? We're still inside this range. Of course, we are bullish, but then we see that it's beginning to, we're beginning to see some form of exhaustion, right? Beginning to see some form of exhaustion in this market, and probably we see a break out to the downside or just a strong continuation to the upside. You can see the previous rally has always been bullish, has always been powerful, right? See buyers coming in heavily and then the market printing bullish momentum candle. And then it relaxes a bit and then continues. But the last 14 to 15 days, right, if you count back, you will see that the exhaustion has been a bit slow. We've not seen that strong bullish candle as we used to see in previous days, right? And so nothing to worry about. On the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? What do we have on the 4-hour time frame? I still have this markup set. Price hasn't gotten there. I don't know if it will eventually will, right, for a box pattern, meaning price tapping into this other block here. Of course, there's another block on the 1 hour also, 1 hour, 2 hours thereabout, and then we'll see price tanking to the downside eventually. And we've seen some form of inducement, right? All of these, I want to consider them some form of inducement. These levels, yeah, this one, yeah, this one, yeah, and even this one, yeah, it's a form of inducement on the 4-hour time frame, which is very, very significant. I want to believe for price coming back into this level, we would see, you know, significant tank to the downside, especially even with fundamental, right? Unlike before, we are so much bullish on the market because Iran and US finally had a compromise, and then they were beginning to, ceasefire. Suddenly, as it is, President Trump is out again, full attack on Iran and all of those threats. So the market is also beginning to capture that as a reality. Investors are, are sensitive to this type of news in the market. The big players, they are quite sensitive to this kind of news. So therefore, I'm looking out for, the market even going bearish a bit before we see the bullish momentum resume back once again. All right, that being said, on the 1 hour time frame, of course, remember the other block I spoke about. This is the other block here, right? And price comes into this other block and then boom. The setup we had at the beginning of this week was quite simple. We wanted to buy this market into this zone, but then price just did its thing and then we didn't buy again. We are stopped out. But for those who understand some concept of SMC and ICT, you would know that this kind of is in mitigation block now, right? Meaning price swept through this other block, then came back into the zone again and then begin pushing up to the upside, right? So eventually it didn't even get to our TP. This was our TP, but immediately price did this. I was already out of the market. I wasn't observing this again, but then if I'd seen the closure of this candle, then it makes sense to go again, right? Say you want to buy this market and eventually my TP will still be here, though price didn't get here. Probably at this exhaustion, this second exhaustion, I will have been out of the market, all right? So it's just one of such a week. For 3 weeks now, we've been making money back to back, right? This week we had -1 hour. It is what it is. We'll just be patient and then we'll go again. Next week, hopefully we should even make much more cash on that. That being said, I'm very, very much big on the sell. And this is tied to the fact that if US and Iran keeps dragging, right, in terms of nobody's coming to term with themselves, right, as regarding the entire ongoing war, then I expect the markets to, be in a form of risk off, right, uncertainty and everything. So that should now trigger some form of sell into the market. All right, that being said, let's move quickly to our NAS 100, NASDAQ. We have the same thing with NAS, right? We have the same thing with NAS. NAS have been very, very much what? Very, very much bearish, right? Very, very much bearish. Finally coming out of the range. On the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? What do we have with NAS? What do we have on the 4-hour time frame? What do we have with NASDAQ? We have this has broken this low for what it is. If price has broken this low here, then we expect that what happens next? The bearish bias continues, this recent low, right? It continues. And of course, the next point of liquidity is this guy here, all right? If for any reason we see a sweep of this level, then into next week, we are looking for sales. We are looking for sales heavily. We are looking for sales, right? So it makes a lot of sense to sell if for any reason NASDAQ breaks this low into next week. We'd see that resumption and then we can take advantage of it. Yes, I didn't forget. I was looking at my chart to remember the markup. We had a markup for sale this week on NAS 100 also. I'm trying to remember where exactly it is. I'm trying to remember where exactly it is. Probably by Monday, I'm going to show us how the market reacted to our levels. All right, so this on the 1-hour time frame, I'm waiting for price to clear all of this. Once price clears this, then we are very, very sure that we are waiting for a pullback and then join the continuation. Simple market structure, lower high, lower low. But price has to break this. That's broken its closest lower low, right? The lower low that was created, that's broken it. But then there's still one around this zone. If for any reason price clears all of this, then we're just waiting for retracement and then a continuation to the downside. That also depending on what fundamental is saying. right? Tomorrow you can wake up and on Saturday, President Trump comes to say, oh, Iran, they've begged, they've sent 14 people to come and speak with him and all of that. And now the war is over, no more bombing again, blah, 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 blah. The market will still rally regardless of what technical is saying. But as of today, the information on ground, we are very, very much looking forward to sell this market, right? All right, that being said, finally to S&P 500, we have the same markup across board. Market is what is bearish, right? We are looking for, of course, temporarily. Long term, we are still bullish, right? In fact, in a very good place. But because of what sentiment is doing and the current market and the current price action, we can consider this a bearish price action. So that being said, I'll be looking for price to retrace a bit to the downside and then, continue selling. If the news is still negative, this other block will not hold at all. It will just react a bit and then probably some form of push to the upside and then continue selling to the downside. I believe we all are getting all of this analysis. All right, that's pretty much what we have going on indices this morning. So the next one we'll be looking at the yen market. Yen market and gold, those that trade yen related assets, GJ, UJ, EJ, and all of that, and to the gold, those that trade XAU, USD, be having your analysis right about now. All right, to the next person, CJ, how is the market doing?
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the market follow for today. Now, let's move straight into the chart as we analyze gold against the dollar and see how funny this week has been and how we're going to take advantage of it for the rest of the week. Now, quickly looking at the week in retrospect, we're looking at how gold has been very bearish all through the week, starting Monday, and we've seen that unfolding all the way to today. We're still expecting some much more bearishness on gold. However, you can see how Monday started. Quick retracement on Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we had the continuation. And right now, today being Friday, the close of the week, we're seeing price action looking like a possible retracement might happen. And we'll take advantage of that to the fullest as much as we can. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, let's look at what we have for today and possible trades that we could take advantage of for today. Now, originally, I was expecting gold to trade back to this particular level here on the daily time frame, which is the low of the day before yesterday, and we're expecting price to retrace from there. If it should trade all the way here, we're expecting a buy to this level and then a sell-off afterwards. So I'm looking forward to something like this, a quick buy here, and then a sell-off immediately afterwards. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we get clear context. You can see that there is a fair value gap and an old low residing around this area. And on the 1-hour time frame, you can see the same thing as well. You can see that price has not tapped this level just yet. So we're expecting that quick sell to this particular region here. And then we'll be selling afterwards. So for me, my outlook currently on gold is overall a sell, but before the sell, I will be looking forward to see something around here because I want to sell from a premium price point. So looking at the 15 minutes time frame right now, we're seeing something else, which is kind of contrary to what we've been explaining earlier. On the 15 minutes time frame, we see that price is struggling to break this new high, just like it has done in the previous times. It's struggling to break this new high. So this could be the engineer for a sell-off to the downside instead of this particular level that we've held right here. So two things I'll be doing today. I'll be looking to sell gold today. But my sell bias on gold is not a long-term sell bias, it's a short-term sell bias. Overall, I'll be looking to see how gold is going to play around this region here. I'll be looking forward to a quick sell-off after price has traded into this particular region here. So if price doesn't sell off from here, then from this particular price point where price is at the moment, if I start to see sell entry signatures, I'll take a quick scalp. If you remember, especially for those who are our students, during the week, we've been loading you up with content, and we also had classes and sessions where we discussed market analysis So revolving around the recent happening in the market, and we told you how that our expectations in the market has reduced just as the daily range has reduced. So we're looking out for very, very quick entries and exits from the market. We're not targeting as much. We just take as little as we can, and then we're exiting the markets almost immediately. So for gold this morning, I'm expecting that sell-off to the downside, and I want to see it's going to sell to. First point of interest would be this particular low right here. Since price is struggling to take out this high, then this low is going to be a target. So if I'm taking an entry from here where price is at this moment, I'll be looking to sell it all the way to the downside. So from here, I'll be looking for a sell entry around here, targeting this particular level for my liquidity sweep. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting, a quick sell from here all the way to this level. Else, if I don't see a sell price to sell buy all the way to this region here, then I'll sell off from here down to this level right here. So for me, my bias for gold is bearish. I would want to see what price will do. If it gives me a sell from here, I'll execute to this place. If it doesn't, then I'll look for a sell from here to the downside. These are the two places I'm looking out for a sell on gold from. Now let's run quickly into the yen basket. In a perfect segue from what I was saying earlier, gold has been selling strongly, and then yen basket as well has been selling strongly all through the week. If you remember in the beginning of the week on Monday, we told you that we're looking to short the yen. We're very bearish on the yen, and it's even exceeded our expectation because we're expecting it to just revolve around this other block. But then it has traded way below it, and we're expecting some pullback and then a continuation to the downside. So overall, the yen basket is very bearish. We'll be expecting a pullback to this particular level right here, and then a sell-off afterwards. So this is where we're expecting a pullback on the yen basket before the sell continues. Now, if we look at the yen pairs, we are looking at GBP JPY right now. We said we were anticipating a buy all through the week. That was on Monday. You can see how GBP JPY has been buying. And one of the things why we mentioned was that price struggled to break this low. And until we break this low, we'll keep being bullish on GBP JPY. So you can see that that actually played out. GBP JPY has been bullish, and we've been taking advantage of that all the way to the upside. Now that it is making a quick retracement, we'll be expecting the retracement to end here. So once the retracement has gotten to this region here, we'll be expecting a resumption to the upside, because even if you draw a quick fib from the beginning of the trend all the way upwards, you see that that is a decent pullback for GBP JPY. So that's between 50 and 61.8 region. So for GBP JPY, I'm expecting a sell to this region here, and then a buy back to the upside. So the moment price trades into this region here on GBP JPY, I'll start looking for an entry to play out, either an evening star pattern, or not an evening star, a morning star pattern this time around, or I'll be looking for a bullish engulfing on 5 or 15 minutes time frame, which will trigger an entry for me on GBP JPY. Now, if you look closely at Euro JPY, what the exact thing we're expecting on GBP JPY has played out on Euro JPY. Already, Euro JPY has shown us bullish bias to the upside. And you can see how that played out exactly to the T. And for Euro JPY overall, we're still expecting bullishness, but then it has already retraced according to what we're expecting on GBP JPY. So for Euro JPY, we're already eagerly expecting a buy setup to play out on Euro JPY. So for this guy, if you look at 5 minutes time frame, you will notice that Euro JPY has already started giving us some bullish momentum already. You can see that from here. So I'll be looking forward to an entry pattern to print out on Euro JPY, which would lead me to executing my buy on this particular pair. So for GBP JPY, I'm expecting a buy. I've shown you my entry point. For Euro JPY, I'm also expecting a buy. For Euro JPY especially, it's giving me a buy signal already. So I'll wait for a confirmation, which is in form of an entry pattern. And once that plays out, I'll be executing my buy on Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is a buy, GBP JPY is a buy. Gold, we're looking out for a sell. These are the things we are expecting to play out on this particular pairs we've mentioned. All right, so these are the things we're expecting to see today on the market color. We hope you're able to get as much value from the market color that we've shared so far. We showed you some of the things we're expecting on synthetic indices and also on US stock indices, and finally on gold and the yen pairs as well. So make sure that you follow us across our social media channels, and you can also reach out to us on our WhatsApp number if you have any inquiry or any question. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you're part of our Market Color community. The website is valueflowtrading.com/marketcolor. We're going to be pinning all those to the comments or to the description of this video so that you can always join us at every point in time where we're sharing market updates or analysis. It's been a wonderful week, and we hope everyone is having a good, profitable week at that. But we'll meet again next week, Monday, 8:30 a.m. GMT +1. My name is CJ. Do have a wonderful day. Cheers, and see you next time. Also, if you have any question along the line, or if you have any question relating to what we have shared so far, do feel free to ask your question right here in the comment section. We would have someone attend to you almost immediately. Okay, so if you have any question, feel free to ask your question, and you'll be attended to as soon as possible. All right, thank you very much once again. See you on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Do have a lovely weekend. Cheers and God bless.